Hi everyone, I'm Joanne. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you two cards I made with some of my own supplies that I have in my stash and a few things from the November 2022 Your Creative Studio. I do have a cold, so my voice may seem a little hoarse, but the two things that I used were these ephemera pieces, the long ones, and the washi tape. And yes, I have very inky fingers from making these two cards, but I think they're just so pretty. So here's one, and then here's the other one. And I'm going to show you how I made them. So, of course, you know, I don't advocate anyone running out and buying the same supplies. And some of this is old from Stampin' Up. But you may have things in your stash, and hopefully it'll inspire you to maybe give you some ideas of what you can do. So I'm going to start with this one, because that's the one I made first. I'm going to put it up here. You can take a look at it while I make it. All right, so I started out with some thick cardstock. I don't know what pound it is because I just looked on the package and it didn't say. But anyhow, it's 8.5 by 11, cut in half, and then scored at 4 1/4. So that's my card base. And then I had some of this paper. And this is Stampin' Up! Paper. It's older. I don't believe it's available now. I bought it maybe a year or 2 years ago. So I cut out a piece of that, but you can cut out any kind of a blue, light purple. I went through my whole stash, and you know, I thought this kind of complemented it a little bit. So it's 1/4 of an inch smaller than a card base. So it's 5 1/4 by 4. All right, and then I cut this down even 1/4 of an inch smaller. So it's 2 3/4 by 5. All right, so I'm going to start. I used the one with kind of the rose, and I'm going to try a different one. I was trying to figure out how this goes, and there is some writing right here, and it looks like it goes this way. And then, of course, I have to decide. I think I like the darker here, so I'm just going to glue that on. I mean, you can use a tape runner, but I'm pretty low on that. And one of the things this upcoming window I need to either order or go purchase at a craft store. I kind of liked, which one is this? I'll show you in 1 second. Yeah, I think that writing's, I just want to make sure real fast. Yeah, it has like an A and an M, so I think this is the way it goes. I kind of like this one here, this Mono Air. I think the new Joann's that opened by me has the real, yeah, they're all real, the refills for this. So I went through it really fast, but the other one I kind of like is the Nuvo, but I'd have to get that, you know, I'd have to order that, whereas this, I think I can pick it up in a store. So if you have a great tape runner that you love, let me know, and you know, I need to eventually invest in one of those real big ones because I go through it so much. So then I'm going to take my card base, and I didn't pop it up, I just put it flat and glue this on. Yeah, I've been kind of sick, and I feel pretty good today, but my voice is just a little hoarse, but it feels like my sore throat is better. And so I'm grateful I feel pretty good today. And it didn't get worse, because there's a lot going around, as you know, from the news. I did take a home COVID test, and it was negative, thankfully. So I didn't want to go into school, you know, with COVID. All right, so I stamped on a piece of white cardstock, this sentiment. And again, I have a lot of Stampin' Up! Supplies from not so much recent, a while ago. But it came from this Snowflake Wishes, which is, I don't believe it's still, you know, available. But there's so many stamp sets that have snowflakes and, you know, some, and you can do anything, Merry Christmas, whatever you want. It doesn't have to be snowflake-ish. I just felt like I had this, and with the little snowflakes in there, which I'm probably going to cover that up, it would look nice. So this I am going to pop up on some dimensionals that I have. And you use what you have. All right. I'm going to kind of offset it like I did this one a little bit. I have to bring it up and make sure it's straight because I don't get much of a second chance with that. And then I had, where are they? Where did you go, little snowflakes? Here you are. So again, I'm sorry, this is very heavy Stampin' Up, but you can find, you know, you could Google iridescent snowflake stickers, or these aren't stickers, they're just laser cuts. These were called Wonderful Snowflakes. It was a gift to me. I have no idea if they're still available. I'll look some of this stuff up, and if it is, I'll link it in the description. If you don't see it down there, then no, it's not current product. So I'm going to take out one of these pretty, but you can find these places. You can Google it, or, so I'm going to put it in there kind of like I did this one, that one. And they're just laser cuts, like I said, so I just have to hit it with some glue. I ended up going back in and putting a little glue on all these, so I know I want to kind of get that. And then I'm randomly just going through and lightly hitting it with some glue. And I don't want it straight. I thought about that, but I think a snowflake deserves to be kind of... maybe this one I want straight. That looks pretty good. I could go back in and hit that with some glue and get it to stick down. I think it's so pretty. And then I have some gems, some embellishments. These are just not iridescent. What are these? These are just kind of rhinestones. Let me do some different sizes here. I like to do 3s, so I'm going to put I don't like the big one. I'm never a big fan of the real big ones for whatever reason. I guess because I'm not a very blingy person. But there's that one there. One of the smaller ones. Maybe in here. I don't know. I kind of like the position where I had them before. And then one over here. I tried to add like 2 more, and I just didn't like it with 5. It was a little bit of overkill. So this is a little more plain in here, but I think it's just as pretty. All right, and then I put the sentiment inside. May your season sparkle. But obviously you don't have to do Christmas cards. You can do any kind of a card. Where is that stamp? Right in front of me. And I use some blue. This is actually, yeah, it's a dark blue. I lucked out with all my cards that I got these straight. I shouldn't have said anything. I do have like a Stamparatus Misty kind of thing, but I really don't use it. I should. But if I mess this one up, I'll tell you what to do. Looks pretty good. Yay. 3 for 3. I can't complain about that. If I messed it up, I would just cut out a white insert, a white piece of cardstock, maybe 1/4 of an inch smaller, and just put it in there. I've done that plenty when I've messed things up. And this one, I put some of the washi down the bottom, and I like that, so I'm going to do that again. And I'm going to hit it up with some glue stick, which I didn't do on the other one, but I did it on the second card. I just had forgotten. I could probably get it up and do that, but I don't think I really need to. I think it'll stay just fine. And then I'm just going to start at the corner, line it up. I think the first time I had it way over there where it needed to go. Come on. Don't mess with me, washi tape. All right, and then I'm going to come through and just cut that off. I think it's pretty straight. It's not so much right there, but I'm going to leave it alone. I don't think it's barely noticeable. So there's my card. And I did get some ink there. And then I always come in with my stamp on the back, which I rarely ever get straight. And I really don't care. Handmade by me. Don't ask me where I got this from. It came from like Indonesia, and it took months to get here years ago. I didn't realize when I was purchasing on Etsy. Now I make sure I always check where things are coming from. It was kind of during the pandemic, but I'm telling you, it took months and months, but it was inexpensive and I liked it. So why am I doing this? Because this ink, the Memento, doesn't dry instantly, and it does tend to smear. This Memento ink. So there's this one. So I have 2 of those. Let me just get this a little glue on here. And I can go back and check these later. I don't think I actually got any glue on it. There you go. And maybe this one right here. Because I think when I go in an envelope, I don't want it to get it hooked on there. So these are these 2. Let me make sure I'm centered up here. Nope, I'm up way far. So here are those 2. Pretty. And then the second one is this one. So I did things a little bit different than the original I made. So again, it's the second half of the 8.5 by 11 paper, scored at 4 1/4, cut in half, and then scored at 4 1/4. And then my layers are 1/4 of an inch smaller, so it's 4 by 5 1/4. And then this, I'll show you what this is in a second, is 3 3/4 by 5, because everything's getting 1/4 of an inch smaller. This is the paper from your creative studio, and I just cut it in half. I cut a piece of this in half. I didn't even measure. This one, look, they're not exactly the same. Actually, I might cut a little bit off of this because I don't like it so thick. All right, and I stamped a sentiment on a piece of paper, and I did that off camera because that one's a little trickier. So this is so pretty. It's like this velvety snowflake paper. Let me pull it. I'm pretty sure I got this year. So it's called Snowflake 12 by 12 Specialty Vellum, and it's all different. Let me see. So I definitely will link this because it's so pretty. Look at this. I think there's a sheet of... they're a little different, and is there another dot? Yeah, the dots are a little different. And then the snowflake pieces. I thought it was super pretty. So glad I bought that. I got it a while ago, but I just put it in my, Christmas stash of paper. So I'm going to glue this down to this, but I kind of just strategically put it in here. This doesn't have to be vellum. It can be any kind of a snowflake. It can be whatever you like. I just, this is what I had, and I thought it all went together pretty well. And I just used what I have. And then this, I kept it flat again instead of popping it up on dimensionals. And I think there is kind of it's kind of what looks best along the bottom and the top as far as the snowflakes go. Center that. All right, this is where I did something different. This paper for this piece, because I popped it up, it's a little flimsy, so I actually backed it with white cardstock because this is just very flimsy, and I am going to ink it. My Ranger, where's the ink? Here it is. Let me ink that up. And I'm going to just ink around the corner a little bit, just so it kind of defines the edges. So when it's on the card, you can kind of see it a little better. I didn't ink this up or grunge it up much at all, this whole card, because I like the crispness of it without the grunge. All right, and then I took washi and I put a strip on this. So I'm going to just get my glue stick. Put a little bit of glue on there. It doesn't matter if this is up or down, because I can flip it over or flip it around. I guess more importantly is to get it fairly straight. I feel like my strip isn't straight. Ooh, that's not good. I don't think it's the washi. I think it's the paper may not be super straight. I'm going to check that in a second. This, of course, can go around. Maybe. See, I just feel like this down here is straight, but I feel like this is off a little bit, which is very possible. When you're cutting little strips in a trimmer, they can slip so easily. Let's just see. Let me see here. If I can get that straighter. Or maybe it's just my eyes. I don't know. No, it is definitely off. Yeah, it was definitely off. Now I gotta cut this piece a little more. I'm probably off camera, but I'm just trimming a little bit off the edges. So I'm going to need to come back in with my ink and ink that up, make sure that stays down. All right, it's good enough. Even if it's a little bit off, it's good enough, in my opinion. So I really don't like the way that I'm going to get a little more ink heavy here, because it looked a little too like it had these hard edges. So let me get this around. Where's my bone folder? Where are you? Here you are. Just get that side, and I think that side's okay. Get that off. I gotta watch my little inky fingers on this card. And I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. About in there, and I did come all the way over to this edge with this strip. I didn't go to the center edge. I came over to that edge that is crooked. I can save it now. Now I went up too high. All right, that's much better. I highly recommend that you put this ephemera paper on, back it onto cardstock. All right, did I dimensional that too? Yeah, I did. So I'm going to pop that up too. Let me put an extra one here for safekeeping. All right, I'm going to stick this one here. Which is kind of hard. Actually, that looks pretty good. It's over to the left a little too far, but you know what? You can't fight it too much. I almost feel like this is a little too long, but I'm not going in and going to try to cut that. Let me put my gems on. I keep them kind of, I like that. Maybe different sizes, but I think these gems just add the right amount of sparkle on here. And put one kind of in here. All right, and then how I finished this off, I had this kind of linen ribbon. It's real thin and it's ribbon. You can use anything. And I did feel like it needed something else, so I put a bow. Let me try to... I did play around with it quite a bit. Bows are challenging enough, let alone on camera. Yeah, that flipped. So let me try this again. All right. There you go. I hope everybody, if you're in Florida, you're safe. Getting hit with a lot of rain from what I saw on the news. And I have a friend in Disney, and I think she said Animal Kingdom doesn't open till 2 o'clock today, so I guess they're getting the brunt of the rain in that area today. All right, let me cut these down. All right. So here's my little bow. Do I want it over here or over here? I guess it goes there because of the embellishments. Let me get a little glue dot. I glued the other one down, but I usually do use glue dots, and I'm not sure why I didn't this time. Where are you? These are not glue dots. What are these things? Mounting squares. I'm like, what are they? What do I have on my desk that I don't know I don't have? Lots of things. So I'm taking a little glue dot and just sticking it here. And then kind of putting it right in there in the corner. Yeah, it looks better with the glue dot than glue down. I'll have to fluff that one up a little, although in an envelope it's going to get squished. So here's my second card. I just think it's pretty. All right, should I do it? Let me do it. Let's get this done. All right, ink up this stamp. Lots of things sticking to the top. All right, praying for straightness here. Praying for straight, and it's not straight on my block, so that's what throws me off a little bit. All right, is it 4 for 4? It is. Yay! I love when that happens. Love it. My fingers just got very inky. And then I'm going to come around to the back. Put my stamp on the back and call these done. I don't want to touch the card really right now because I did get a lot of ink on my fingers just then. So these are the 2 different styles of cards, 4 cards I made this morning. I definitely want to make more. This ephemera pack to me yells tags. I definitely want to make that, and especially with the little tabs on the top. So I think I'll be really using this kit a lot this month, or even into January, because it's very wintry to me. Yeah, I just said I don't want to touch it. But anyhow, thank you so much for joining. Any questions, comments below, give it a thumbs up. It helps push the video out to other crafters like yourself that may be interested in the same thing. And I appreciate each and every one of you. All right, have a great day.